Hi there, my name is Korp and welcome to another 15-minute doodle challenge. The plan is that I'm going to take 15 minutes, show you how to draw something, and the challenge is to see if you can do the same or better. So let's get on with it, shall we? These are the materials that I'm going to be using today, nice and easy, just a regular Sharpie pen and then a 0.4 Unipin fineliner. Essentially, if you've got a fat pen and a thin pen, you'll be good to go. Okay, so we're going to draw, well, let's get our timer started, shall we? We're going to draw Skullbot today. So skull with a robot body and a cap. Okay, so let's go and put in 3 teeth first. So I always like giving my robots just 3 teeth. I find it a little bit easier just to start off with 3 teeth and then join the outside ends together in a random way to give yourself a bit of a skull shape going on. Now most of you will already know that I like to double line everything I do. The reason I double line it is to make the line twice as wonky, not twice as thick. So just go around that line again, make it all nice and wonky. It's a lot easier to draw a wonky line and I think it looks better as well. So there we go, we've got our skull in. Let's go carry on with the skull for the time being, shall we? Let's go and put in a couple of eyes now. You don't have to go perfect circles for the eyes. Something a little bit wonky will be really nice. As wonky as you like. Don't forget to go around it twice though. Double line it all as much as you can. And then what we're going to do is going to make this look a little bit more 3D by kind of showing some of the inside, some of the thickness of the skull, if you know what I mean. So essentially we're going to take that curve there and we're just going to bring it over to the right hand side a little bit. So like that. Do the same on the other side. Just flip it. Like that. Don't forget to double line. I'm just trying to make it look a little bit more 3D. Let's go and colour those bits in black, shall we? Now obviously at this stage, if you wanted to, you could go and be putting some eyeballs in on this bit, but I kind of want to make it look just like a skull. So I'm keeping it as an empty skull with just black in there. Always nice to have a bit of contrast in your artwork as well, so colouring in a section in black along with all the other white stuff on there just gives it some nice contrast. There we go, upside down heart in the middle there for the nose, upside down heart. If you can't draw an upside down heart, just turn your sketchbook upside down and draw a heart. So there you go. I think that will do for skull. We'll come back to it with our fineliner pen a little bit later, but let's go and throw in a cap. So what are we going to do for a cap? What we're going to do is going to start on this line. We're going to launch off. We're going to curve around and hit back around about here. Okay, so let's go and do that. So starting off there, let's launch off and hit back like that. That's going to be the peak of the cap. And as you can see, I'm still double lining all the way. Let's go and then put the top of the cap in. So this time I'm going to make sure it crosses over so it comes out about here. So let's go up there. Across, down for the top of the cap. Now right in the middle there, let's put a button, a little D shape for a button, and then coming out from there we want to draw the side of the cap, give it a bit more shape, also give us something that we can draw on the front. So let's go just like that and then down. Awesome, right, this becomes like the mesh at the back of the cap. We're going to put the mesh in using the fat pen. So let's go and put some lines in going in that direction. And then lines in going the other direction. So you get this like diamond shape happening. Awesome. Have a little think about what you want to put in there as well. You can personalize it by putting a different thing in the front of the cap. Right, let's go and do the body next. What I really love about this body is that you can get lots of shape, movement from it. So, well, mainly from the arms and the legs. But let's go and put the body in first. Body is nice and easy. It's just going to be a rectangular shape coming down, across, and up. Anywhere really across there will do. Let's go and carry on with doing something in here by, let's put a little kind of section in there. Just trying to give it like a little metal panel, maybe a little display bit, maybe a little light there. Let's put some screws in. So we're old school with our robot. Some little screws in like that. Yeah, and that'll do quite nicely for a body. I'm just going to put another light in just there. Yeah, that'll do nicely for a body. Let's put in some like elbows, the joints that kind of join the arms and the legs to the body. So what we'll do is we'll have a little shape that kind of goes like this. It's going to come out, down, in again. Bit of a curve to it. So no real straight lines. Well, a series of 3 straight lines, but what I mean is no corners in there. Just kind of round it off a little bit. Let's do the same down the bottom here. Not forgetting double line as we go along with that. You could leave that actually. They look pretty decent as a set of legs there. But what we're going to do is we're going to bring out some really long arms and legs. One long arm, one short arm, one long leg, one short leg. Okay. So work with me here. First thing we do, and it's each of these arms and legs just going to look like a snooker ball in a sock. Gonna go for that kind of look. Okay. So yeah, let's do it from there. Look, let's curve it out all the way down. Curve it around. Let's go back. Join into that arm. Don't forget double line it. Obviously that's the long arm, so we're now going to do the short leg just here, long leg, short arm just there. So the short leg, same kind of shape. But just a bit of a shorter leg. On the other side we're going to do our long leg, so this time we're going to flip it over. We're going to have it curving in this way. So let's go in there, make it as long as you can. Bring it all the way back. Let's go the other side. So we're going short arm now. Again, same kind of shape. Curve it all the way around. Bring it all the way back. Double line it. And there we go. All right, that's looking great. Let's go and put in some critical shapes around these arms and legs. What we want to do is make the small arm and the small leg, pointed to the wrong ones there, but you know what I mean, the small arm, the small leg, we want to make them look like they're leaning away from the body, whereas the long arm and the long leg are kind of pointing towards the body. And we'll do that by changing the way we draw some little lines on there. So because the long ones are kind of pointing to us, we're going to do the curves this way around. Look. So just work your way up the body. Till you get something like that. Yeah, this one's kind of the same, so let's do the same kind of thing, same curves. Ideally you want a similar kind of number of stripes in there as well. If you want to get it dead on accurate, then my suggestion is always kind of start from the middle, half it, and then half each half, and then half all the quarters, if you know what I mean, in order to get it the right number of lines. Because now we're going to do the other side. Now the other side we're going to change the angle of the curve to make it look like it's going further away. Now that number of lines in there, we need to do a similar kind of thing in that leg, but you know, make it work. So you see how we're just changing the angle of the curve, which is now going down. Same with this one. Look, change the angle of the curve. Look. And like I said, what it should do is it should make it look a little bit like our robot is striding towards us. So that arm looks like it's going backwards. This arm looks like it's powering forwards. Okay, that's the plan anyway. Let's go and quickly throw something in on the top of the cap, and then we'll check on our time. Let's go and put a skull in, of course. If I can't think of what to do, I always draw a skull. So you see now I did the main skull, just 3 bouncy teeth. Join it together, throw in a couple of eyes. This time I'm going inverted, so I'm colouring the skull in black. Like that. What else? Oh, one more thing. In the peak of the cap, let's go and do another line in there. I think we're done. Well, we're done with the thin pen anyway, the fat pen. Let's go into the thin pen. We're 9 minutes in, so thin pen, we'll start at the top, work our way down on this one. First thing we're going to do with the thin pen is let's go and put some stitching in on around the hat there. Just a dashed line all the way around. Maybe do one on the inside there as well. Stitching or dashed lines are always a great way of making things look like they're a bit more fabric. Anything else you want to do in here with this skull? I'm going to leave the skull as it is. I'll leave the cap as it is, but I am going to put a crack in the skull. Watch this. So anytime I do a crack, I like to do like a capital Y. Like that. And then on the tip of that capital Y, just put another capital Y in. Really nice way of drawing a crack. Now, let's move ourselves down. We want to make this skull look a bit more 3D. So you see these bits on the inside. I'm just going to put some lines going across like that. Closer together at the top. As you get into the middle, just separate them out a little bit and then put them closer together again down the bottom. Finish off that skull with a few hashtags, quote marks, little lines going around the eyes. Also, yeah, what I was going to say, the reason we did those wonky eyes is because we can do little things like this. Like we can just put in little creases here and there, using the natural kind of bends in the line that we did when we did that wonky shape. Let's put another one over here as well. Awesome. A couple of little shadows. So because we're using pens, we do shadows using just a line. Quote marks. Maybe some stitches. Let's put some stitches. Let's put some just there. Okay, let's move down a little bit further into the body now. So into the body, what am I going to do in the body? I'm going to do a little bit of shading in. So let's shade in the bottoms of these arms. So just a little line going across. Oh. And then some diagonal lines there in the armpits. Just because the underside of that is where I'd expect to see shadow. Same with under here. I'd expect to see shadow all the way across in here. So again with those diagonal lines. Where else? Let's put some diagonal lines in this bit, in our little display. And you can even just bring out some extra panels. Some little dots for rivets. Kind of makes it look a little bit more robot-y. Right, let's go and put some shading in on these arms now as well. So how are we doing for time? We've got 2 minutes left. Let's rush it. So we're going to put in a shadow all the way across here. Curve it across. This time though, the lines are going to go horizontally. So all the way down. Essentially all we're doing here was just outlining where we expect the shadow to be and then putting some little lines in. If you were colouring in, then this is by all means exactly where you'd start colouring in, where you'd see the shadows. So yeah, just outlining where you want the shadow to be first, shading it in using a series of lines. And because we're using a thinner pen, it doesn't mess with the overall picture because you're using that fat pen as your primary pen. That's like the shape of your character. This thin pen is like your little details. So we can just put in these little bits of shading. And they shouldn't interfere too much with all the other lines. One last little bit around there. How are we doing for time? 1 minute left. Going quick this one. Awesome. Right then, that's it. Have a little bit of fun with it. So I'm going to put in some like little oil splats around the outside just to finish off this piece. 30 seconds left. No time to do too much in here. Just a few little splats of oil. Maybe a little fly. Have we got time for a fly? Of course we have. There it is. It's coming from behind the character. Let's have a little fly just sitting there as well. Last few little drips. And I think that is it. There you go. There's our 15-minute doodle challenge. So yeah, have a little go yourself. Let me know how you get on. Use the hashtag doodlewithkorp, and yeah, I'd love to see how you get on with your version of Skullbot. Thanks a lot. I'll see you next Saturday in another 15-minute doodle challenge.